After moving from LA back to Providence, I was ready for a fresh start. Back in LA, the only people who came to my fertility clinic were rich, entitled couples saying, "Dr. Brown, we desperately want a child, but," and there's always a but, "our child must be a boy. No Down syndrome, no autism. Oh, and can you make sure he has blue eyes?" Half of the couples definitely hated each other, half seemed to see unborn children simply as new accessories for the family. But a little letter in the mail reminded me of a particularly high-profile couple that I had hoped against hope would make it. Back then, I was a new doctor, fresh out of fellowship, optimistic and overzealous. I know better now. I don't get so hung up on every case. I've learned to move on. But sometimes, the past just doesn't let you move on.
In other news, a story that rocked the celebrity world at the beginning of the decade has birthed a new controversy in 2019. Teresa Starr, the acclaimed child actress best known for her lead role in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, has become embroiled in a case currently being tried at the Rhode Island Supreme Court regarding the custody of her frozen embryos from 10 years ago with her ex-husband Jeremy Jones. Teresa, who has been in and out of rehab for the past 5 years, argues that this is her last chance to be a mother due to a pelvic inflammatory disease that she contracted after storing the embryos. Mr. Jones, the genetic father of the embryos, has since remarried and released the viral hit last month, "Hit Me Baby 2 More Times." He argues that his ex-wife's history of substance abuse and acting out in the public eye make her an unfit mother and is suing to get custody of the embryos.
This is Kevin Chen from Spitty Media.
There she is!
Do you think your husband's a baby killer? Let's stop! Over here!
I don't know why I watch entertainment news in the morning. Why do I do this to myself?
Hi Teresa, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you so much for seeing me.
Yeah, sorry for the wait.
No worries.
What brings you back to my office today?
So, I know you've been subpoenaed for my court case, and I feel like you need to hear my side of things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to be
Okay,
hearing
but
this.
this is such an important moment in my life. Like, this is my entire future, and I just want you to understand where I'm coming from, you know? Having a baby means everything to me. You know, people say, like, when I tell them that I want to have a baby, why can't you just adopt? But the experience of having an infertile body, of your body not being able to do something that it's supposed to do, that it's meant to do, it's a kind of pain that I've never felt before. I mean, this is worse than, honestly, rehab, and rehab was my rock bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but,
Oh, I'm so sorry I'm late. As you guys probably already know, I'm Dr. Gruber, the psychiatrist who's going to be responsible for the psychiatric evaluations throughout this whole ordeal. Now, where were we?
Look, rehab was my rock bottom. I felt things that I've never felt before, like sadness, pain, even joy. And the thing is, whenever I would feel emotions before, I would always just take a drink or do drugs, anything to numb that feeling. And when I was in rehab, I had to let myself feel all those things. I was forced to. I had to let my body crave alcohol without even being able to take a single sip. And that experience of just living in that pain and letting myself feel all the disappointment and the hope and everything that comes with being in that position, I think it made me realize how important being a parent is to me. And I know it's going to be hard, but I truly feel like this is where my life is meant to lead. And I think that all of those reflective moments in rehab prepared me for this point. Like, I just know that I'm ready for all the ups and downs that come with being a parent, all the sleepless nights and all the emotions that come with letting your child out into the world. I know I'm ready for that.
Wait, Dr. Gerber, hang on a second. I just wanted to follow up with you after that meeting because you didn't seem that engaged in it, but I still want to get like a psychiatrist's opinion of the matter. Like, how is Teresa? What is your opinion?
I think Teresa's perfectly psychologically fit. Like, if this actually does go to court, I think it's a cakewalk.
But like, besides how easy or difficult it will be to win the case, I just want to know, like, how would she be as a mother? Is she emotionally stable? Is she going to be safe to her child? Like, I just want to know, like, more details.
Why are you so, like, nitpicky about the details? Like, imagine what a celebrity case would do for Providence Browns, like what keeping a client would do for me, for this hospital in our careers. Like, I know that you might be hearing the rumors among your colleagues about me being falling behind on child support, things like that. But at the end of the day, Dr. Brown, like, what I care about is protecting a woman's right to procreate and have a biological child.
Do you even hear yourself right now? Like, how would you treat the same case, but if Teresa were a woman on Medicaid? Would you still be as zealous about protecting a mother's right to have a child?
Well, I think that we all have our own biases, and instead of fighting against the inevitable, what we should do is just accept it, and just accept the fact that sometimes we have to look out for ourselves, and that we are gonna, we won't be able to operate completely neutrally. All I'm saying is that not all of us are born with a silver spoon in our mouths and not the granddaughter of the hospital's founder, Dr. Brown. Have a good day.
Hi, Mr. Jones.
Dr. Brown, thank you so much for taking the time to see me today.
Of course.
I always know that I'm in good hands with your family. After your grandfather did the Whipple, my grandma, back in I think it was 89, I think he gave her an extra 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, my grandfather truly was a remarkable physician, and I'm still trying to live up to his reputation.
Well, I know that I've heard that you've been subpoenaed and everything, and I just really wanted to come in and I think kind of give my side, because I don't know what what Teresa's been telling you, but I think that this formally happened after we ended seeking your care when it came to freezing our embryos 7 years back, when I don't think you've seen this, but for example, I don't think that Teresa's mentioned the fact that, like, we know that Teresa's a drunk. She also often got physically violent. She gave me this a few years back when we got into an argument. And I also just think that if you let her have a child, like, if you placed her under the same scrutiny that Teresa had, remember, Teresa was a child star, like, I don't know how that child will turn out. Like, I don't want that child raised in an environment of substance abuse with all that spotlight on her. I'm just very worried if you okay what Teresa wants and is requesting from you.
Yeah, I didn't know about this. That's definitely something to consider.
I also think that, well, you know, my career's more settled. I have a stable family now. I've remarried. I have some children, and I just don't know what my new wife would think if suddenly my ex-wife had a child with my genetic material. I just really think it'd put a strain on our marriage.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see how that would put a strain on your marriage, but
and as well, like, also, I just think that, like, I just can't have someone running around with my genetic material, because I think in that case, like, I feel an obligation to take care of them. But the thing is that I just really don't feel ready for that, and I think that, frankly, my right not to be forced to be a parent outweighs, I think, my ex-wife's right to procreate. Like, I'm sorry, that's just what I think, and I think that you really shouldn't force this on me.
Yeah, I mean, you present a lot of good arguments, Mr. Jones, but I really can't promise you that I'm going to side with you or Teresa at court, and I just really can't I don't know what to tell you right now. I'll definitely consider everything that you just said, and I mean, I just can't offer you any guarantees at this point.
Listen, I heard you talk to Jeremy, and I just want you to know, don't believe anything he says. He's a liar and a manipulator.
Okay. Hi, Teresa. Yeah, it is true that I saw Jeremy, but can I help you at all?
Jeremy's a liar.
But, like, he did show me his scar, and how would you explain that?
He always pulls out his scar, and he's invented this whole story in his head about how it happened. Honestly, the truth is, I was holding a vase and it dropped and it just sliced his arm, and he has created this whole story where I threw it at him, which is just not true. He always shows, oh, I got this many stitches, look at how big it is, but it was an accident. That's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't believe you, Teresa, but we have to admit that you don't have the best track record.
My track record? Listen, I just don't think that my past should dictate what my future has to be. I mean, I've changed. I had I'll admit, I had a rough couple of years when I wasn't sober, but I recovered. I have been sober for several years now, and I just think I think that people can change, and I'm proof of that, you know? Jeremy is hell-bent on ruining my life. If you side with him, you say that people can't change. Wait, Dr. Mom, wait. I have to tell you something.
Yeah, I mean, I have a meeting, so...
Okay, but I just feel like you're not really getting my side of the story, and I don't want you to walk away getting the wrong impression. I just have to say, I think that since I'm the mother, my opinion should overrule Jeremy's. I'm the one who's going to be carrying the baby for 9 months. I'm going to be taking care of him or her. So why is Jeremy's voice more being weighted equally to mine?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm not the one to make the call, and I'm really not supposed to be talking to you, especially not this close to the court.
But you talked to Jeremy, so...
Yeah, but I talked to him once. This is the second time that I'm talking to you, Teresa.
I just feel like if you're my doctor, isn't it your duty to represent my interest or to do what's best for me?
Yeah, I mean, it is, but sometimes the situation's complicated, and I can't just, Jeremy was kind of also my patient. I can't just do what you want, what he wants, and I have to think about what's the best decision overall.
I don't know, I just felt like when you were talking about my class, isn't it like what lawyers say, innocent until proven guilty?
I mean, Teresa, I'm not a lawyer, I'm a doctor. I'm really sorry I have to go.
The days between my second meeting with Teresa and the court hearing flew by like the 7 years following the first time I met Jeremy and Teresa. I was at a crossroads. On one hand, Jeremy seemed like a more reliable source. He had no history of substance abuse, no criminal record, nothing. On the other hand, Teresa had a DUI, 3 years spent in rehab, a potential violent streak, and a complete disregard for my work schedule. The choice should have been clear, but I couldn't help but feel swayed by Teresa's persistence. I remembered how greatly she had desired a child 7 years ago, and that desire had not faded now. Siding with Jeremy would imply that I believed people couldn't change. I wanted to believe they could, that Teresa could. She had been sober for just over 2 years now. But could I risk letting a little baby grow up in a potentially dangerous home environment? That's the thing about preserved embryos. They aren't quite children, but they sure as hell aren't property.
In the civil case of Jones versus Starr, now calling to the stand.
When I first found out I had pelvic inflammatory disease, I was devastated.
I first met Jeremy and Teresa 7 years ago.
I think Teresa is perfectly psychologically fit. I've seen nothing to suggest that she should not gain ownership over the damages. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm under oath. She hit me.
Your Honor, it was an accident.
I think that this case is particularly sensitive because the unfertilized embryos are neither property nor children.
Yeah, so I actually already made an Instagram account for the baby. I saved 2 different handles, for each gender.
Order in the court. Your Honor, you have my guarantee that I was exhausted and I did everything and ran every evaluation I could possibly could have. I think I have all I need to know.
Dr. Brown! Hi!
Oh, Teresa,
What brings you here to Providence?
Oh, I'm just here visiting some family.
Yeah, I mean, how's the pregnancy? I mean, it looks like everything's going okay.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple of months. The media has been all over me, and it's really stressed me out. Like, it's become too much. I don't think I can handle it anymore. I think I have to quit public life.
I mean, I'm very sorry to hear that, but I mean, luckily, you'll have the baby that you always wanted in a few months, right?
That's true, and I just want to say thank you so much for what you did for me. I'll never forget it.
Wait, that's
Oh, no, I got it. Yeah,
Is that...
no, it's just for my family reunion. I'm sorry, I gotta go. Bye.
Okay, take care.
William Osler once said that medicine is a science of uncertainty and an art of probability. We get thrown into these ethical dilemmas, we make choices of life and death, and at the end of the day, we can never control what goes on outside the walls of our hospital, how the unpredictable changes we face day to day affect our patients and ourselves. At the end of the day, the best thing we can do is to be good people and stand by our choices. I guess that's what medicine and life is about. Hello?
Hi, Dr. Brown. I just want to congratulate you on a job well done on our case with Tiffany.
Is that you, Dr. Gruber? Do you mean Teresa?
Yes, Teresa.
With all due respect, sir, why are you calling me?
I'm just calling to make sure that you are getting settled all right. I have no clue what brought you here from LA, but this isn't going to be just some cozy homecoming. Providence Browns has always done things a certain way here, and you're going to learn about a history that you cannot begin to imagine. Your grandfather was really no saint. But I just know this place will change you like it does to everyone else who gets turned into it, and it will be all uphill from here. Best of luck, Dr. Brown.